We're back at the Weather Prediction Center website to take a closer look at the weather systems that will be driving the weather this weekend. Let's take a closer look at the weather map, a more detailed weather map for right now. So if you go down here in the Archive of North American Analyses and you click on North America Zoom In and you retrieve that map, you will get a map full of data that might be hard to read at first. This is a map of North America, goes all the way up to northern Canada and all the way down south to Mexico. So it's very comprehensive. We'll zoom into our part of the continent. We'll put Vermont right in the middle over here. You'll notice that if you zoom in here on New England, that the high pressure system that brought in the cooler temperatures has now moved off the coast. And if you go further to the west over here, you'll notice that there's a low area of low pressure over here, various low pressure centers over the western part of the continent over here. So if you put these two systems together, you'll notice that around the high pressure center, you get a clockwise circulation over here. With all these low pressure centers here interacting with this high pressure center, sort of circulating in this direction here, in between the two, over New England, you get southerly winds. Now, if you zoom in on Vermont, you can actually confirm that. These actually show station plots for Vermont, up in Quebec, and a couple in New Hampshire. This is actually Frelicksburg over here, where I live. This here is Montpelier. The station is Montpelier. This is Rutland over here. And this over here is actually Mount Washington. And you can always tell Mount Washington because it's on top 6,000 feet. And you can see it's 59 degrees over here, whereas all the surrounding stations are in the mid-70s. This is actually at 2 in the afternoon, or 18Z. You would be able to see that on the bottom left of the map. I won't go there right now. You can look at it yourself later on when you look at this. So what this does is it confirms that the winds generally follow our egg beater model of weather systems here. You'll notice to the south of us, what those southerly winds are bringing towards us is this warm front over here, sort of indicated in red. If you zoom down towards that warm front, you will see what is associated with this. Notice that the temperatures are here in the 80s to the south of the front, and that the dew points are in the 70s. The green here to the bottom left of the weather station here represents the dew point. Okay, so these dew points here are around 70 degrees. That is extremely sticky. Very sticky dew points make for a very sticky humid air mass. So this is definitely a moist tropical air mass moving into our area in this area of southerly winds. Okay, so we can predict for tomorrow as this warm front moves through, probably precipitation, definitely more cloud, and warmer and more humid conditions as time goes on. So what about the past few days? Well, if you want to look what temperatures were like previously, you can scroll backwards here by using these buttons over here. This takes you back one frame, about 3 hours. This takes you back 1 day. This takes you back 1 week. This takes you back 1 month. Okay, so this is a complete archive here. Let's go back 1 day. And you'll notice that a day earlier, so this would be Thursday afternoon here, the high pressure system was here circulating this way, in this direction, this clockwise direction. Let's go look closer at Vermont over here. And you'll notice over here that the wind barbs are all pointed towards the north. Okay, north is, you got to be careful in your orientation here. The border here between Vermont and Quebec is actually east-west. Okay, so it's not directly to upwards here in the north. The north is actually perpendicular, at right angles to the border here between Quebec and Vermont. Okay, so these winds here are actually coming from the north. So the barb's pointing towards the north. It means that we have northerly winds over here. Okay, so that's the situation here for much of New England. If you go over here in Maine, you can see that the winds are pretty much the same. If you go out over the ocean here, this is ocean buoy data out here. And you can see the winds are even stronger with these barbs over here. Notice the long barbs represent 10 knots and the shorter barbs represent 5 knots, so that these represent 15 knot winds coming from the north. Just about 15 miles per hour comes out to about that. Okay, so the winds were actually quite strong and from the north here off the coast at this time. Okay. Let's go back another day earlier. So this is on Wednesday afternoon here. And you'll notice here that the high pressure system was over Lake Ontario. Go back another day. So this would be Tuesday afternoon. Whoa!